today, our learning goal says, I can determine corresponding angle relationships. We just reviewed vertical angle relationships and supplementary angle relationships. Today we're going to explore what are corresponding angle relationships, and then how can we use those to find missing angle measures in a drawing. So we're going to start by saying, if we have parallel lines, what are parallel lines? What does that mean? Is it like this? They can't touch. Will they ever touch? No, they will always be the same distance apart, right? You cannot, they will never meet with each other. So if we have parallel lines cut by a transversal, would you fill in this word, please? Transversal. So our parallel lines in this drawing are lines 1 and 2. See, there's a 1 and a 2 over there. Those are the lines that we call the parallel lines. Do they look like they're ever going to touch? Do lines on a sheet of loose leaf paper, one line, does it ever meet up with another line? No, it doesn't, does it? This is just loose leaf paper. And the transversal in this drawing is what I'm going to call here little t. Let's just call that little t. Our transversal is the line that is cutting through those parallel lines, okay? When we have parallel lines cut by a transversal, that creates supplementary angles, it creates vertical angles, we've already talked about both of those kinds, and it creates corresponding angles. So we've already, in this drawing, we've identified all the vertical angle relationships. We identified all the supplementary angle relationships. Now we're going to say, what are corresponding angle relationships then? And which pairs make up those? So our new angle relationship is corresponding angles. Here's what we can say about corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are equal. So once you determine the relationship, if you know one of their measures, you can say, oh, the other one's going to have the same measure. And how are we going to know which ones are corresponding? They are also in the same position. And I'll explain that a little bit more in a bit here. In the same position. Okay, could somebody tell me who in this room, with regard to the first row of tables, so the first row of tables, who is in the same position as Sierra? The first row of tables, who do you think we could say is in the same position, not in the same seat, in the same position as Sierra? Wait, Kaylee. And how did you get that way? How did you determine that?
Because they're both sitting first seat.
Yeah, or maybe you could say it like this, from your vantage point, they're both sitting on the left side. Right? There's two seats, one of them's the left, one of them's the right. Sierra's on the left, Kaylee's on the left. Okay? With regard to this row of tables, tell me who is in the same position as Miss Bork. Hayden? Wade and Danielle. Wade and Danielle. Why? They're both sitting on the right side of the table. Okay? Let's do one more. With regard to this row of tables, you know what? This row of tables, I'm just going to leave it at that. They're not complicated. Who's in the same position as Sylvia? Who's in the same position as Sylvia? There's this row of 4 tables. Idea? Caden and Sierra. All of them are in the same position. They're all what? On the left side of the table. So you have an understanding what I mean by in the same position now? Okay, so now let's go see if we can identify corresponding angles from our drawing. What was the first one that we wanted? Oh, it doesn't even start you off. Okay, let's start with A. Who corresponds with angle A? Which angle in that drawing is in the same position as angle A? And a little hint, there's only one. Okay, there's only one in the same position. Hannah? D. Angle D? Okay, you guys agree? Oh, wait, you do? You agree? Okay, I disagree. Sorry. Think of the rows of tables in this room as the parallel lines. Think of the rows of tables in this room as the parallel lines. Okay? So what do you think, Wade?
C.
You think angle C.
Wait, what angle are we?
We're looking for the corresponding angle. The angle in the same position as angle A. So far we've had D and I said no. And now you say C and I'm going to say no. Sorry. Tyler?
B.
B. I'm going to say no. Idea? E. E. Yes, it's E. Angle A is in the same position as angle E. Angle A is in the same position as angle E. Another little thing that might help you with this is what else did we say is true about corresponding angles? Besides being in the same position, what are they? Besides being in the same position, what are they? Danny? They're equal. So they gotta be the same shape. Now there are some other angles on there like the one Wade said. He says C, because is C also equal to A and E? But why is C equal? Because it's a vertical angle to angle A, and since A and C are vertical angles, we know they're equal, which then would make C equal to E because, A and E are equal because they have a corresponding angle relationship. But right now, we're just looking for the corresponding angle relationships. And these two have the same shape. I'm going to outline for you what I mean. This angle looks like this angle. Do you agree with me? Yeah. Okay. Find another pair of corresponding angles now. Another pair of corresponding angles. Okay?
B.
B and what?
E.
B and F. Do you guys agree with him? Yeah, B and F are in the same position. So we've got A and E, B and F. Give me another pair. Sammy?
D and H.
D and H, she says. You guys would agree with her that D and H are corresponding angles? Okay, D and H. Do we have any others? Oh, apparently there's still some hands up here. So, Sierra.
C and G.
C and G, Sierra says. You agree? Okay. Any others? Just because I didn't make space for any more, doesn't mean maybe there are some more. Are there any others? Okay, so now we have identified a ton of angle relationships going on in just this one drawing. We determined all of the vertical angle relationships, we determined all of the supplementary angle relationships, and now we just identified corresponding angle relationships. Once we identify a corresponding relationship, how is that useful to us again? How is that useful to us? Harley? We know they are equal. That's important, okay? We know they are equal. Anybody have questions? Anybody want clarification? Okay, then let's go to the back side and let's use all of our amazing knowledge now. we have the drawing that was on the front, but now I've helped this out and said, I'm gonna give you a couple of the angle measures, and now it's our job to find all the rest. So we have 6 more to find, right? If I gave 2 and there's 8. So I'm gonna start with, let's just start using our corresponding angle relationship. Let's start with what angle corresponds with angle G? What did we decide corresponds with G? Caden?
C.
C, okay. So G and C are corresponding angles. Well, why do you suppose I started with G? Because it has the measurement and we know what it is. Why not start with one we know, right? Would it be very useful to start with 2 we don't have any idea what one of them is? Probably not. So we are trying to find missing angle measurements, so we knew G, so that's why I started there. And then we decided that G and C are corresponding. So since angle G measures 70 degrees, what does angle C have to measure? Angle C has to measure 70 degrees. They are equal. Well, then I said, well, since I know what D is, why don't I just move on to that one now for a bit? Since angle D is 110 degrees, let's just pick out, there's more than one way we can go about these, but let's kind of just stay with our corresponding angle relationship so we get familiar with using it. What angle corresponds with angle D? Class?
H.
H, yeah. Angle D and angle H are corresponding angles. Well, if we know what angle D measures, then we should be able to right now say that angle H measures what? 110 degrees because they measure the same. They are equal. Okay, let's go open our drawing and label those two just so we can kind of see what we have left here, okay? Plus it helps us maybe with our, so C is 70 and we just found H, we said that's 110. Looks like we got AB and E and F left. So let's fill in what I did here. I said angle D and angle B, what relationship do they have? D and B. They're vertical angles, aren't they? D and B are vertical angles, so fill in the blank here. Angle D and angle B are vertical angles. Well, do we know the measure of angle, one of those angles? Which one do we know?
D.
We know D. So if we know D, then we should be able to say what B is by saying what? It's the same. So it's going to be 110 degrees. Well, that's cool. So now let's go up there and say angle B measures 110 degrees. We're down to 3 angle measures left to find. A, E, and F. Looks like I want us to start with A. Okay? So, anybody want to? We have 3 different angle relationships we can use to help us get the answer for A. So what do you want to use, Harley? You want to use vertical. Okay, well then measure of angle A equals what? Okay, so let's do this. Let's do the because first. Angle A and angle C are vertical. Here's our reasoning. She's using the vertical angle relationship. So like you had to do in the homework for today, you have to justify what was your reasoning. And what does A measure? 70 degrees. Well, if A measures 70 degrees, or excuse me, C. What does C measure? 70 degrees. Well, C measures 70 degrees. What does A have to measure? 70 degrees because they're vertical angles. And vertical angles have the same measure. Tell me, what other relationship could we have used? Maybe somebody else was sitting there and they weren't going to use the vertical angle relationship to get A. What else could we have done to get A? Give me another choice we would have had. I'm not sure that all three options are available to us yet, but I think there's at least one more option. And Harley does not get to give it, she already gave us one. Tyler?
Corresponding.
Corresponding, okay, so what angle does angle A correspond with? Can I help them out, class? You got it, Tyler?
A or G.
No, A does not correspond with G. No. They are the same shape though, I'll give you that. They are the same shape. Which one does A correspond with, Sylvia? E. It corresponds with E. That's the same position. A and E are in the same position. Do we know, have we identified E yet? No, we haven't said what E is yet. So maybe the corresponding angle measure thing isn't ready yet. We're not ready to use that one for this. So how about the supplementary angle relationship? Can we use that one? Okay, what angle is A supplementary with? Which one? D and B. It could be either or, right? It is a supplementary angle. A is supplementary with B, so then we would do 180, take away 110, and what would we get? What's 180 take away 110? 70. Did the same thing we got when we talked about the vertical relationship. Or it's supplementary with D, same thing. 180 take away 110. So no matter what relationship we use, we're going to get a 70-degree angle. Okay, give me E, and what's your reasoning first? What relationship are you going to use, and with what angle? Well, hey, don't we already know, we just found A, didn't we? And what relationship did we say A and E have? They're corresponding angles. Let's use that. Because angle A and angle E are corresponding. Now we're ready to use the corresponding angle relationship because we just found its partner A. So what does angle E measure? 70 degrees, because corresponding angles are equal. Give me a vertical angle relationship with E. Which angle is vertical with E? G. Look at there. And what should it measure? It better measure 70 degrees. Okay, so we got these guys. I haven't been filling mine in. It looks like the only one we have left is F, right? Okay? You pick. You do it yourself. You pick which relationship are you going to use to give your partner it up with another angle. Tell what relationship they have. That's the because. And then you can give its measure. And I'll take a volunteer up here to write your because and the angle measure. Okay, go ahead, Harley, you can be the first one up, and then if somebody else has a different one, they can be the next one up. Here you go. And by the way, do you notice that every time I name an angle, it's with a capital letter? Because we reserve small letters for naming the lines, okay? Remember how I named the transversal small t? So, capital letters identify the angles. So what is the angle measure? How much does angle F measure? That's what I want to know.
Oh.
Okay. If somebody has a different relationship they use, come on up and you can write it underneath in my extra lines I have there. What's your because? Gotta be different than she used. She already used the supplementary with angle G. I wonder how many different things we could use. Anybody have any idea? Why don't you try and start counting up on your way on her here if you're done. I wonder how many different things we could use to get this very last one. By the way, when I use this slanted capital L, what am I representing? The word angle, aren't I? Yep, okay. Making sure we understood that. Okay, she used a vertical angle relationship. Anybody have something else? Yeah. How about corresponding angle relationship? Anybody use that one? Okay, you did, Wade? Okay, you want to write it up there? No? Hannah? You want to write it up there? Okay. Did you get the same angle measure as Harley, by the way, or do you want to change? You want to give a new answer? You got the same thing. Okay, that's cool. Everybody's got something, right? You're not just sitting here thinking that blank. Does yours match up with anybody's yet? That's up there? With either Harley or Danny? Not yet? Maybe it'll match up with Hannah? Anybody come up with how many different possible relationships we could have used? Okay. So she said that angle F and angle V are corresponding. So she used that one. And by the way, Hannah, are you agreeing with 110 degrees? Okay. Wait, use a different one yet?
I wrote angle F and angle G
And what relationship do angle F and G have to each other?
correspond.
F and G are corresponding. Do you agree, class? Are F and G corresponding? No. What relationship do F and G have?
Supplementary.
They are supplementary. So then you'd have to use the 180, take away the 70 for G to get F. Anybody have another one yet? So are we all necessarily, for every single angle, going to use the same strategy to get our angle measure? No, we just proved it right here that there were at least 3. And remember, see right here, wait, it says F and G are supplementary angles. Is F supplementary with any other angle, class?
Yes.
Okay, what other angles is supplementary with? Hayden? Which one? I just didn't hear you.
What's the letter?
C.
See? So you think these two are supplementary? Okay, how do we know that they would be supplementary? What would be the reason for that? Do they form a straight angle? No. They're kind of staring at each other here, aren't they? Not back to back. They're face to face. So are they supplementary? Not necessarily. We can't use the relationship that they make a straight angle, so we can't do it that way. Yes, they're going to be supplementary only because they add up to 180. Okay, so you're hearing what I'm saying? We don't know that they're supplementary because they don't form a straight angle, but it does turn out that they're supplementary because they do add up to 180. But we don't know what F is yet. We're looking for F. Okay, so what other angle is angle F supplementary with, because we know it forms a straight angle with it? Paikia? E, yeah, it's these two. Those two are supplementary. Is there another vertical angle relationship with F other than the one that was already stated, H? Is there another vertical angle relationship? that Sylvia?
D and F.
No, with F. Oh, D and F?
Yeah.
Oh, so these guys you think might be vertical. Oh, I don't think so. They actually have a sort of an angle relationship we're gonna talk about some, maybe sometime, but that's not, they're not vertical because do their vertices right here, do they meet each other? Are they sharing a vertex? No, so they can't be vertical. So you have to be really careful with these relationships. You have to make sure you understand what relationship you can really set up to help you get the angle measure. Even though sometimes it's going to be like, well, it has to be this, obviously, but you're going to be able to explain why. Does that make sense? Questions? Because now I'm expecting you to be able to name all those angle relationships.